Hi, my name is Lance Hallam, and by now you might be wondering, what exactly is an audio enhanced showing and why do I as a realtor need to use one? Well, I would like to cover those topics. We have just pulled up to a property that's going to be going live here pretty soon, and I'd like to take you inside and show you just how the system works. But before that, I'd like to share with you several key reasons as to why it is beneficial to you to use our system. So let me tell you kind of what we do. We have created a system that we call audio enhanced showings. And what that means is that we come to properties and we work with you, or you as the realtor, the homeowner, combination of them, and we determine what key features need to be highlighted about your property. Not just a complete repeat of the MLS listing. We're looking for the good stuff. We're looking at a different way to market your property. And the way that we deliver that content is through tablets. So when potential buyers come for a showing, walk through the property, they carry a tablet through with them, and the tablet will play important messages highlighting key features of the property. And we accomplish that in a couple different ways, and I'll explain that later. But what it does is it opens up so many marketing doors for you. You're able to market a property in ways that you've never thought about before. And I can't wait to share those with you here in a second, but I'll talk about those whenever we get up to the house here in just a second. But before we get out of here, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you wake up in the morning and say, look in the mirror and say, I cannot wait to be average? Or do you say, I want to be the best. Today, I'm going to beat every one of those 7,000 other realtors in town. I want to stand out from the crowd. Well, if that is you, then our audio enhanced showing system is the right ticket that you need. I love making the seller happy, the buyer happy, and the realtor happy. It is a win, win, win. And I will show you how we can accomplish that here in just a second. So as we walk up to this property, I'd like to ask you a question. At what point during the selling process do you think is the most important time to be able to hook those buyers? It is right now. It is when those buyers are about to step into the property and view it for the first time. That is your best window to close them. That's your best window to get them excited. That's when you help them start making that decision to purchase your property. And you probably already do things as clean the property, make the property smell nice. You may even go to the extent of staging the property so people can help visualize themselves in that property. And we just elevate that to the next level by telling the story of the property. And we open up so many doors to be able to do that. And what we do here is we don't sell houses, we help you sell homes. You want those people that are looking at the house to have a warm, fuzzy feeling inside, and we're able to help accomplish that with our system. We have a saying around the office that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but our audio content is worth $1 million deal. That's because we can do things that you haven't been able to do before. And I'd like to share with you a couple of examples of what we could do on a sensor. One of the first things that I do if I actually meet with the homeowners or the realtors, if I'm creating the content, I like to ask them, what is your biggest hurdle in selling this property? Because if you think about it, every property has one. And a lot of times we can wipe that away. We may not be able to turn it into a positive, but we can wipe it away. And I'll give you a real quick example of that. I just did a cabin up in the mountains here in Colorado, and I asked the homeowners, what do you think is your biggest hurdle? And they instantly said it's the winter commute. This cabin was at 9,000 feet. People were going to be worried about the snow and being able to get in town. I said, well, how many times has that ever happened to you? And they said never. So what I did was I created an audio file that stated, you might be concerned with the winter commute because of the elevation of this property. However, we would like to let you know that in the 8 years that the homeowners have lived here, they have never once not been able to get into town because of weather, because the county does such a great job of maintaining the roads. What we did was we wiped away that fear. We took that away. We closed that door of letting people say no to the property and help them say yes. Another way that I love to use our system is to elevate a good feature into a great feature. I'll give you an example about a roof, a way that I could do this. What I would say on a message might be something like this. You may already be aware that this property has a new roof, but what you may not be aware of is the fact that the homeowners upgraded to an impact resistant shingle. Where that could benefit you is the fact that you are going to be far less likely to be damaged in a hailstorm, and you may want to check with your insurance carrier because many offer a substantial discount on your yearly premium. Now, what I just did there was I elevated this property above the competition, above the other houses. If these potential buyers are looking at two properties, they're having a hard time deciding, they're stacking up, both of them have new roofs. Well, guess what? I just drove this one up and above it, and I gave them a way that they might actually be able to save money. My mom saves $500 a year on her insurance premium because of the shingles that she installed. It's a great way to crush your competition. Another way that I like to use this, and I actually just stumbled across this one from something that the homeowner said, but I like to put one in and I like to say, do you know what the number one thing is that these homeowners are going to miss when they leave this property? Well, guess what? Those people that are listening to that tablet's ears just perked up. Well, of course they want to know, what am I going to love about this property if we buy this property? You can fill in whatever you want there. But that's such a simple one, but it has been so effective. You can't imagine how many times people have commented on that. Another thing that we can do is we can address topics before they become a problem. A simple example of this might be the kitchen might have been just recently remodeled in this house, but there's no permit for it. Well, some people get really worried about that because there is not a permit. Well, maybe in your jurisdiction, a permit was not needed because it was just a facelift and no plumbing or electrical used. You can address that. You guys know what are holdups with clients when you're walking through a property. You can turn it around and make sure that that doesn't put a strike against you. Another one might be with foundation. They might see the foundation repair had been done and think that that's, oh my goodness, this house has foundation problems. Well, that might be actually very beneficial because the homeowners may have already spent $50,000 repairing the foundation, and it has a warranty for 40 years, which is infinitely better than that house down the street that hasn't had anything repaired that will most likely need repairs soon. Many ways that you can use our system, but I could stand here forever and tell you so many of them. We have another video on the website that I take you through the top 10 ways I like to use it, and you guys are going to find out so many ways to use the system. But let's go ahead and go inside and see how this works. Oh, one last thing before we do this. I'll cover a couple things with you. We can record the audio files. You can record the audio files if you want. We've even had homeowners who were the architects who designed the property talk about it. It doesn't matter. Whoever wants to record it will help you do it. We also offer the ability for us to completely full service come create the files, create the content, record the files, do it. We have a DIY system where if you just want to carry it around with you and do it each time, that's a different price. We can accomplish this inside in two different ways. One is with motion sensors, and I'm not going to explain that. We have motion sensor on doors and throughout the property that trigger the audio files to play, but there's a lot of videos on the site so you can see how that works. What I'm going to show you inside of here is our standalone system and just how simple that is and how that works. The great thing about our systems is it does not matter if the property is still occupied or if it's empty. It works either way. But let's come in here and take a look at our standalone system. Okay, so somewhere very close to the entry point of the house, we will set up a little display with the tablet, a docking station, and a sign telling people to pick up the tablet. We will also encourage you to list that in your showing instructions if there's a tablet that will need to be picked up. But here's what happens. When the tablet's picked up, it's a real quick, simple video will play telling them that as they travel around through the property, they're going to see numbers similar to this. And once they see that number, they select that corresponding number on the tablet, and it will play an audio message highlighting a key element to the property. It's that simple. But the delivery is very simple. It's comical how many times we hear that people just keep circling, listening over and over again to the features. If you guys have any questions about us, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.